Hey guys, this is Hell right here from Darkfront. I'm going to be talking to you about the strategy that we use for Onyxia. This can be used for both 10 and 25 man. You're going to want to start the engagement with your main tank drawing aggro on Onyxia and pulling her straight to the back of the room. As your raid approaches to her left side, you want to make sure that they stay away from the whelp tunnel to the left. Allow your main tank to move all the way to the back wall before you begin DPSing. Ensure that he has aggro on her. Once he gets her into position, you can go ahead and dig in. So the goal of phase 1 is just simply tank and spank, get her down to 65% health. At this point, casters, you're not going to want to burn too much mana because it is a long fight. You guys want to save your cooldowns and stuff for phase 2 and phase 3. If you have any whelps at this point from somebody getting too close to the tunnel, go ahead and clean those up as well. So here we just continue to DPS on Onyxia until she gets to 65%. Once she gets to 65%, we're going to transition into phase 2, and I'll talk about the positioning of that when we get to that point. Alright, phase 2 is about to begin. Continue to DPS her while she moves to the southern part of the room. Again, avoid the tunnels to the left and the right at this point. Your off tank, which is myself with the green triangle, you're going to want to position yourself at the entrance to the tunnel. The main tank, you can see the whelps approaching there. So my sole job at this point is to collect all of the whelps. Everyone else in the raid, casters and the main tank, will want to position themselves in between myself, the green triangle, and the blue box that you can see up to the top of the ramp. That is the main tank. So basically what we do is we gather all the whelps, allow them to funnel into this area, allow your whelp tank to get aggro, and then begin AoEing them down. And you can just barely see, there you go, the main tank tanking the elite. Once the whelps are down, I'm going to go ahead and help him out a little bit with the damage on that. If needed, you can have some of your ranged fall back and help out with that elite. But that position that you see there is basically where that main tank is going to stay at. And then again, the whelp tank will stay right here in this entrance of the tunnel. You can see our ranged off into the room there, and basically they're just continuing to DPS on Onyxia. While they're out there, they have to pay particular attention to her flame breath. Occasionally, she will line up down the tunnel, as you see here. She's at the very back of the room right now, pointed straight at the tunnel. So the flame breath goes right up the tunnel. Now with that, you just have to pay attention. It probably happens maybe once every 2 or 3 raids that we do it on. But if you're quick to spot her, all you have to do is just let everybody know to move out of the tunnel. And usually our raid always moves to the left. So here we have an elite ad. It's being picked up. And again, taken back to the top of the ramp. The healers, you can see them running back into position. They're positioning themselves in between green triangle and the blue square. Here come the second wave of whelps. So again, it's the whelp tank. I'm just consecrating and gathering them all up. This gives you a much better idea of what the position looks like. So the elite's down. I'm just going to focus fire on the whelps. You have another elite. Pick him back up, and he'll be moved back to the top of the ramp, away from the healers. Range DPS, they're just continuing to do their thing out there, dodging her flame breaths. If they need heals, all they have to do is simply run back to this vicinity here, and they'll receive heals from the healers. Generally speaking, though, they're not taking any damage out there other than the occasional fireball. So our goal is we're still working on Onyxia down to 40%. There's a good shot of the positioning. Once she drops to 40%, phase 3 will begin. At that point, I will pick her up and move her to the back of the room. So there you see another deep breath. Everybody moves out of the way. And I go ahead and pick up aggro on her. So it doesn't really matter which of your tanks picks her back up and takes her to the back of the room. Just so happens I was in a better position. You can still see our main tank back there tanking an elite ad. So they're going to DPS that ad down, and I'm just going to hold on to her and move her back into the room, into the back of the room. You can tank her pretty much anywhere you want to. Generally speaking, though, you want to stay away from the whelp tunnels, drawing aggro. So phase 3 begins. We start getting the fear effects in the lava. You want to position yourself so that way you're not in a crack when the lava is coming up. And our priest is casting Fear Ward on myself, tanking her. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Pretty much once you get through phase 2, phase 3 isn't difficult at all. And in phase 2, you want to bloodlust, pop your cooldowns, and that's when you really want to try and get her down. This right here takes us a little while. We had some lower DPS with us tonight, but nothing too crazy. Just wait it out patiently, and we get the job done. Again, you can see that I'm ensuring that I don't stand on any cracks so I get hit with the lava. Just trying to mitigate any extra damage. You can see the raid stacked up to my right, back behind her. You want to make sure that you avoid her tail. And it's not a bad idea to go ahead and have your other tank up here in the front or slightly off to the side so they're not taking damage from her, but just in case something happens to your tank, they can go ahead and step in and pick her up so you don't wipe. Alright, and we're getting her down to the last little bit here. Like I said, once phase 2 is complete, phase 3 is pretty simple. Thanks a lot for checking out Dark Front video. Hopefully you picked up something from the strat, and appreciate your time.